Hi, I hope everybody had a great Christmas. Christmas tree in the back still. Haven't taken it down yet. I don't want to take it down till the very last second because it makes me very happy. Do what makes you happy, right? That's what last week was about, was self-care. This is my form of self-care and soothing, is I keep it Christmas as long as I possibly can. So it's shortly after Christmas, just before New Year's, and I'd like to talk to you today about New Year's resolutions and why it's so important to be very aware of your own recovery at this point in the year. Usually, New Year's is a time when people start making resolutions. They want to better their lives, better their health, better their overall well-being. And unfortunately, that's usually a time when people start making promises to themselves about exercising more, losing weight, eating healthier, etc. That's not such a great thing for those of us with eating disorders, as generally those things can be pretty detrimental. Over the course of this video, I'm going to be talking about how it's a bad thing and how to avoid everyone talking about losing weight and eating less junk. I just want to clarify now that sometimes it's important that people lose weight, eat healthy, exercise more. Some people need that in their lives, but those of us with eating disorders, we tell ourselves that we need it, but we really don't. Sorry, I'm getting sick. Self-care, again, I'm self-soothing with water. So, New Year's is coming, and when you go back to school, work, family, job, whatever, everyone's going to be talking about their resolutions. Some people say that they'll eat less candy, they'll eat less chips, they'll drink more water, they will eat more vegetables, exercise more often, take their vitamins, lose weight, whatever. Generally, for those of us with eating disorders, this is a really hard time because we think that all of those things apply to us. We think that we need to lose weight, eat healthier, cut out the junk. This is the time when we promise our eating disorder that we will do better next year. You need to not do that. I'm going to explain why a little bit later, but it's really important that you make yourself resilient to and defend yourself against the onslaught and the attack of all of these resolutions that are soon going to be flying your way as people talk about them. Personally, I'm going to have an extraordinarily hard time come January. I am one of those people that gets affected by the seasons. So for instance, it is the end of December now, coming into January. We have more light in the day than we did, say, 10 days ago, and it's only going to be lighter and lighter and lighter as it goes. But generally around this time, January, February, incidences of things like depression and anxiety, they get really bad at this point in time. So I need to know myself well enough to know that this is a vulnerable time for me and that my eating disorder is going to try and take advantage of the fact that I'm a little bit weakened by the weather and my mood. So if you're one of those people, just be extra cautious and extra aware of the fact that you are more likely to slip into safe comfort of your eating disorder come January, February. And it makes it so much harder that all of these resolutions are coming your way. You just need to keep just, as if it's so easy. You really need to just keep in the forefront of your mind that what they need doesn't apply to you. Things like cutting out sugar, don't go there. Please don't go there. They're going to be really tempted to say, I'm going to cut out sugar, I'm going to eat less pop and drink less pop and eat less candy and etc. But that needs to be a road that you do not go down. That's going to be a very hairy, very difficult road in the next little while. Don't even step on the road. Some more dangerous roads, by the way, that are sort of going to make themselves available to you in the next little while are all of those diets that everyone goes on and all of those cleanses. Cleanses don't help anybody. There's all this talk about how your liver needs to cleanse itself and reformulate its enzymes and how you need to give your kidneys a break and force them back into a natural rhythm, or you need to detoxify your skin, one of the largest organs in the body, and you need to help it to reset itself. You don't need to reset anything. Your body is smart enough to do these things on its own. Just eat normally. If you have a meal plan, follow your meal plan. Drink lots and lots of water. Your body will take care of itself. All of these cleanses that everyone's going on, juice cleanses and cider cleanses and who the heck knows what else, it's all going to be flooding your way in the next little while, especially if you're on the internet, and don't listen to it. It's all a bunch of baloney anyways. That's the reason why all of these diet schemes make so much money this time of year. January, February, this is their main time of profit because all of us people are looking for easy solutions to fix our bodies, as if our bodies are something that need fixing. We're looking for an easy, simple solution to fix it. And you need to do X, Y, Z for this cleanse to fix your body. Don't even try it. Your body will fix itself if you just give it a chance. Something else coming up is all of these diets everyone's on. There are so many of them. It's a little bit ridiculous. Everybody is on some form of strange diet. They're on a raw food only diet. They're on a vegetarian or vegan diet. There are other reasons to be on these diets, but sometimes eating disorders can use those as excuses for a reason to cut out whole food groups. So just be cautious if you're going down that road. There are the sugar-free diets and carbohydrate-free diets and certain numbers of grams and proteins and fat, and it really doesn't matter how closely you attend it. Personally, I went from very closely watching my calories to very closely watching my grams of protein and fat. And then I went to comparing ratios of proteins and fats to carbs. And I thought I was doing better because I stopped looking at the calories of things, but really it had just transformed into another way of quantifying my meals and trying to convince myself that what I was eating was okay. Don't get into that. If you can possibly avoid it, just sort of go in terms of servings. Another thing that's going to be coming your way in the next little while is all of these stresses to look good for summertime. I know it's the dead of winter. Why are we talking about it? Sometimes people go away for the winter. They go to a beach, or I don't know, people here like to go to Cuba or Jamaica. I don't know where they like to go where you're from. Or I know on the other hemisphere, I have family in South Africa. It's summertime for them right now. So there's all of this pressure all of a sudden to start getting your beach body ready. Don't think about it. Honestly, that's one of the things I'm most afraid of because I have never been this size in my adult life. And I'm terrified because I love swimming, I love going to the cottage, I love doing all of those things, and I feel so trapped by the size of my body that I'm very afraid to do anything summer related. Right now, all I want to do is just sit here and hide my body in big baggy clothes. But you can't always do that, and sometimes the opposite action is the best thing that you can do for yourself. So just be aware that all of this pressure to look good or feel good and have this beach body, beach ready body, whatever, that's going to be coming your way too in the form of commercials and internet ads and magazine covers. Sometimes magazine covers are something you don't really realize you're paying attention to because you just happen to glance at them at the checkout at the grocery store. But keep in mind that those will affect your mood and they'll affect the way that you think about yourself. So in the last video we talked about choices. That's one of those choices you need to make, is very consciously figure out whether or not you are looking at those covers and consciously decide not to. One of the reasons why New Year's especially is so dangerous for those of us with eating disorders is that we tend to think that we're not sick enough. That's a major thing that I want to talk about today, is the number of times that I've heard myself say and I've heard my friends say that they're not sick enough. They are doing fine. Their blood work is fine. Their bone scans are fine. Their hair isn't falling out yet. They still have their period. They are still X pounds away from whatever goal. They are still able to work or drive. They don't have blood pressure problems or whatever. Your eating disorder will give you 101 excuses about why you're not sick enough yet, about why you need to engage in these diets that all of your friends seem to be engaging in, of why you need to fix your body, and why you really need to give in to your eating disorder and let it help you fix your body. Well, let me just tell you right now, you will never, ever be sick enough for your own eating disorder. It's not going to happen. Even recently, I found myself wishing and hoping that I could just lose weight one more time. Just be X amount of pounds one more time. If I had one more chance to lose weight, maybe I would be okay with having to gain it again and be back where I am. And fortunately, a very good friend of mine said, you don't want one more chance to lose weight. Okay, that's one more chance that you can die. Yeah, it's incredibly harsh, but it's absolutely right. A couple of times I was pretty close to death's door, but when you're in the thick of it, you don't realize how dangerous what you're doing to yourself really is. And you think about all the ways that you could possibly be sicker and why you're not really that sick. But unless you are actively recovering from an eating disorder, you are dying from it. Every day that you decide that you're going to go down that route, go down your eating disorder's path for your life, you're dying. I know it's really harsh and it's really scary, and a lot of people will just brush it off and say, oh, well, whatever, that doesn't apply to me. It does apply to you. If you hear anything out of any of my videos, this does apply to you. If you have any form of eating disorder behavior, this applies to you. Only when you are 100% committed to recovery, to getting your life back on track, to getting your eating back on track, only then will you be okay enough to say that you're not dying from your disorder, because honestly, you are, and I was. So now that I'm here, I'm purge-free for 4 months, and I'm hoping that that is just sort of the first step to being purge-free for my entire life. I'm not going to say a year, because at this point it's just forever or it's not, because it's not going to be just once. I have a feeling that if I relapse from this, it's going to be very bad. So I'm not going to let myself. That's just the way it's going to be. But I still have some restricting behaviors. So yes, I am still slowly dying from my disorder until I am 100% back on that road. And as hard as it is to think about it that way, it is imperative that you realize the severity of your situation. As someone who has recently, and as in recently I mean in the last, say, 7 months, I have gained 40% of my body weight. And that's incredibly terrifying to me. That scares the crap out of me. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, and I'm really not sure that I'm comfortable with it, and I know I'm not going to be for a long time. But at this point, I realize that even 40% of my body weight ago, I didn't think that I was sick enough. Even when my heart hurt and I was having chest pains and I found out that I'd had my first couple of cardiac events, I didn't think that I was sick enough. It could be worse. You have low blood pressure, low pulse. It could be worse. It could be worse. It could be worse. Guess what? It could be worse. You're right. But as my psychiatrist once told me, the only perfect anorexic is a dead one. So yeah, you can be perfect at your disorder, but you're not going to live long doing it. So it is imperative that you understand that one more diet is not in the cards for you. It's not an option. One more chance, one more cleanse, one more sugar-free, carb-free, high-protein diet that your friends are doing is not an option for you. all of these desserts that people are going to be skipping, or junk food that they're going to stop eating, or I don't know, anything that you've been working on in your disorder, in your recovery, that other people are going to start cutting out of their life, you need to keep on going. When my coworkers decide that they're not going to eat junk food anymore, and they're not going to have cookies after lunch or juices with their lunches or whatever, I need to look deep inside myself and remind myself that what they're doing doesn't apply to me. They need to do what they need to do, but I need to do something completely different. I need to have a cookie every once in a while. I need to have a cinnamon bun. I need to have juice. I need to have all of these things incorporated in my diet to make it a full and healthy diet. And the fact that they're cutting out things doesn't mean that I have permission to do that as well. So, as hard as it is in the next couple of months, you just need to remind yourself about how important it is that you stay on the road that you're on, that you stay on recovery road, and don't let your eating disorder take one more day of your life. Don't let it, because it will. It'll take days and years, and you'll wake up and realize that you're 5 years older and nowhere better. So decide that now. Decide for good that you want to take your own road, that you no longer want your eating disorder to drive your bus, because it tells you that it can fix your body. It tells you that there's something wrong with either your body or your emotions or whatever, and it tells you that it can fix it. And because you're so used to it, it's safety, right? It's comfort. It's the calm in the storm. It's the place that you can go to just be in control of everything that's happening. Whatever those reasons that you have for sticking with your eating disorder, those are going to intensify in the next couple of months. But you just need to stick to your guns. And sort of on the other flip side of the coin, make your own resolutions. Make that resolution that you are going to eat better. You are going to include pop and chips and junk food in your diet. You're going to include, say, one danger food or one unsafe food a week to your meal plan and stick with it. Make a resolution that says, screw you, eating disorder. Make a resolution that says, I win. Make a resolution that says, you don't have me anymore and I'm fighting back. Make this your year to fight back. Lately, your life has been living for your disorder, living for your rituals and your thoughts and your every little thing that you do that your eating disorder tells you to do. That's what you've been living for. Take your life back. Take your whole life back in your hands and say, this is mine and it matters. Make this your year. Make your resolution whatever you need to, but just keep in mind that unhealthy ones are out there. They don't apply to you. The only ones that apply to you are things that your doctors or treatment team have put together for you, and anything that makes your recovery choices better for you. So one of mine, for instance, is going to be to get dressed every day. Maybe not every day. Let's say 6 times a week. I get a day off. To get dressed. Silly, everyone laughs at me for this, but there's a giant difference between getting dressed and putting clothes on. Everybody puts clothes on, but when you get dressed, you feel better about yourself. Another one is water. I'm going to drink lots of water, and I'm going to include more of the foods that I still find that I'm avoiding. So, what are your resolutions going to be? What are you going to do this year to take your life back? This is an exciting time. It can be terrifying, but it can also be extremely exciting. This is a brand new start for you. A brand new time where you can say, no, eating disorder, I'm not going to cut back on my sugar. I'm not going to cut back on my carbs. I'm not going to exercise more. This year, eating disorder, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to eat a well-rounded meal plan. I'm going to eat every day at regular times. I'm going to eat things that you told me I couldn't. I'm going to exercise a moderate amount of time every day, or twice a week, or not at all, depending on what feels best for your body. So I hope everybody has a chance to make their own healthy resolutions and prepare themselves for what's coming up in the next couple of months. I'm hoping to start doing a video every week or so. It's just been a little crazy around here lately. And I hope that everyone has an excellent 2014. Best of luck, and if anyone needs anything, please shoot me a message and I'll be around. Otherwise, good luck in 2014. Make it yours.